Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Anca, and today I will be your host here. Together with me in the chat will be my colleague Andrea, who you are now seeing on the screen. And we are going to have a session about AI and what this all represents. Let me just quickly share my screen with you to get everything started. And before I go into the actual presentation, while people are joining, I am curious to know, first of all, where you're joining from and if you've used AI before. And let me just start by sharing some rules within our webinars for the most part. So first of all, I know this will be a question. Yes, this webinar is recorded, so you can watch it again later. You'll be getting an email recording of this session today or tomorrow later on email. As I said before, together with me in the chat will be my colleague Andrea, who will be there to help you with any issues that you might be having. And we will also have a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any questions for us, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A box here at the bottom or at the top. I don't even know where it is right now. I do hope I'm not losing my voice. I do have a bottle of water next to me, and I am a bit nervous about talking about this as it is quite a big subject. So I'm also excited to do so. Let's see what we have here. I can see that people are joining in from all over the world. I see some UK, I see Germany, I see Romania. I also see North Carolina. I'm also in Romania, by the way, so it's evening where I am. So I see some exciting people from all over the world. I do hope you will find some value in today's webinar. And without further ado, I think I'm going to get it started. So, hi everyone, I'm Anca, and I'm here to, so excited actually, to have you join me for today's webinar about AI for social media. Today's webinar will be diving into how you can spend more time focusing on other aspects of your business and less time creating the content for your social media while still staying on top of your social media presence and generating ideas for all of your social media channels, as well as learning some tips and tricks on how you can create high quality posts. So I know firsthand how important social media it is and how hard and difficult it is to think of constant ideas to share with your audience. So AI can give you a helping hand there. Whether you're a marketer, a small business owner, a content creator, I'm sure you'll find some ideas in this webinar. So if you're ready, grab your drink, grab your pen, grab your paper, and let's see how you can streamline your social media strategy with AI. First of all, let's talk about how you can speed up your process of content creation by using AI. These tools can help brands stay on top of their social media game every single step of the way. So from outlining a content strategy to creating actual social media posts to drafting the perfect reply for a customer success conversation, all of this can be used and created by using AI tools. These tools can help you with tasks that will help eventually save more time and resources when it comes to social media. And not only that, it can help you with so much in your entire marketing process. The less time you spend creating content for social media, the more time you'll have to focus on the other aspects of your business that AI is not able to help quite yet. So this is especially important for small businesses, for solopreneurs, for people who need to do more in less time in order to get more profitability. Let me just drink some water. By the way, I won't be checking the chats. So in case you're asking anything there, make sure you also include it into the Q&A or have my colleague Andrea reply to your question. So let's move forward and see how AI can help you in your strategy. I have here a few examples for you, just to show you that we've asked ChatGPT to generate some social media post ideas, and you'll see how it delivered a diverse list of ideas, from targeting the right audience that we specified, which is a small business, and offering a great deal of educational content and topics that are paired with a social proof post ideas that can help maybe a coach established or get established in their respective niche. With this ability, you can generate content that aligns with your brand's tone, with your brand's messaging, with minimal effort, and you can build a stronger online presence without sacrificing the quality of your posts. Another example that I can give you is something that we've also done, is to create a content calendar for the month of March, customized for a business consultant. We were pleasantly surprised by the results that you see here on the screen, because as you can see, we included important details such as the goals to reach a wider target audience, to book more calls, to get all of that, while providing some more information about what the calendar should contain. And here we go. So we ended up with a daily breakdown of the posting schedule with ideas that are aligned with the direction that we were requesting, and that are assigned to every social media platform ChatGPT recommended for a business consultant. Developing replies is also a good use of your AI system, and you can do so with minimal effort and just have a consistent and cohesive tone to your customer success, whether it's through a DM in social media or on email on your ticketing system, or whatever it is that you need to do. You can save time and get inspired by your AI suggestions when it comes to replying to a bad comment, for instance. So take a look at what we came up with this example here on the screen. Next up, we also did some brainstorming and tried to generate a few hashtag ideas for a marketing agency. So we looked at some popular hashtags, and we also looked at some niched hashtag ideas for marketing agencies, and it delivered some great suggestions that can also spark some new content ideas as well. As you can see here, we have the generic ones, which are marketing tips, social media, content marketing, online marketing, all of that, while also having something that's a little more niched. So digital marketing agency, social media content, social media marketing tips, things that are a little more profound when it comes to hashtags. Okay, let's talk tips and tricks and how you can generate high quality posts for your social media. We'll go through each of these 5 stages in the presentation and talk a little more in depth about how you can make the most out of each of these stages. So let's start with the what. What is AI writing prompt? An AI writing prompt is the command that you would give the AI system in order to get the content that you essentially need. And you'll see here 3 steps on how you can learn about or how you can write your prompt. And you can look at seeing what perspective you want your prompt to be written from. So if you're an expert in the field, if you're a customer success specialist, if you're whatever it is that you are, make sure you mention that in your prompt. Then you're also going to want to mention the tone of voice that you want to use, any other specific content creation goals. So by learning how to craft the perfect AI prompt, you'll be able to generate better content that's customized to your specific niche. And you can do that by following these 3 steps here on the screen. So in this slide, I decided that we're going to share with you 10 effective phrases to use as an AI prompt. And here you can see everything from as simple as act as a marketer and write a post, to using marketing formulas like AIDA or SOAP in order to create your social media post. And also you can be a little more specific and tell your AI system to maybe avoid any generic information by prioritizing things that are a little more uncommon or expert advice in your niche and in your industry. These are just a few effective examples on how you can start using prompts for your AI, but they're not everything. So let's move further and see exactly how we can maximize the prompts that we're writing. I have here 2 prompts, one that's good and one that's not so good. So I've asked ChatGPT with both of these prompts, and let's see exactly what the replies were. As you can see in this example, the result of the short prompt is a little more superficial, whereas the example on the right, the prompt that was good, is an actual LinkedIn post that you can share with your audience that addresses pain points, offers solutions, and transitions into an effective CTA or call to action that's designed to increase the number of calls booked, for instance. So you'll see here the difference between just one simple prompt and how giving a little more information can help in that direction. As you can see, AI has the ability to generate detailed and customized social media content that's based on the information that you provide. So the more details, the more information that you add to your prompt, the more precise the AI content will get, and the more it will help you, obviously. So by including more specific information about your target audience, about your tone, about your desired outcome, let's say in our example, we've included the target audience, which was small businesses. We wanted I'm forgetting my ideas. Sorry, it's almost 8 p.m. here, so that's why. We've added our desired tone of voice, and we've also added that we wanted a call to action that would boost calls and consultations. So that is exactly what we got. So I have here a few ideas of how you can replace the word right. Why do I say replace the word right? Well, that's the simplest one that comes to mind whenever you think of a prompt, right? Whenever you would go to ChatGPT, you would think, write a social media post about la la la. Well, we can replace the word right and be more clear in our direction by using things like argue, brainstorm, summarize, compare, whatever else you need. And the slide on the screen right now offers a few ideas of how you can do that. On top of this, you can also be more specific when it comes to the tone of voice that you're using, and use words like being friendly, being informal, or formal on the other hand, being professional, being motivational, being playful, bold, assertive, or any other variation that you might see suitable for your audience. So I figured this would be a good time to play around a little bit with ChatGPT, and I do have this as a challenge for you guys. So I will take a small stop from presenting my webinar and ask you to go on ChatGPT and create a LinkedIn post as a marketer addressing a small business owner or solopreneur, talking about the importance of having a social media presence in 2023. I will also stop sharing my screen for a second and try to do the same on my end live in case everything works with ChatGPT. We all know that ChatGPT right now can be a little overloaded. So let's see if it works. Let me share my screen again with you. Okay, where is it? Oh, I think I lost you guys. There we go. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen back. And let's go ahead and add this prompt to ChatGPT. Oops, that's not the prompt. Can you tell that I'm nervous? Because I'm nervous. I have my prompt ready here, and I'm just copying it into this. And let's see what ChatGPT offers right now. So let's see. It's now thinking. And so, hey, small business owners and solopreneurs, 2023 is here. And with it, we need a strong social media presence has become more crucial than ever. In today's digital age, having a strong online presence is a must for all businesses. Here are 3 key benefits of social media marketing: reach, engagement, and ROI. And the challenges, like limited budget and time, knowing what content to create and how to measure success can be overcome with a well thought out strategy. Want to learn how to get started? Check out Social Media Guide for Beginners. This comprehensive guide will help you create a strong social media presence, increase engagement, and drive ROI to your business. Click on the link to get the copy today. And then it also recommended some hashtags. So I don't know about you, but that's pretty impressive on my end. And I feel like it's a good starting point that we can then work with and edit further. Okay, I'm curious to see what you guys got, but in the meantime, let me also go through the rest of the presentation so that I don't take too much of your time. So in case you haven't played with ChatGPT yet, this is what it looks like. You've seen it previously in my live example here. You're also able to see it here. So pretty much a chat box where you can add your question in a little text box and send it away. Once you do that, the chat will appear on the left-hand side of your screen, and you'll be able to get a reply from the AI system. And you'll be able to also continue the conversation in there and refine your content to the point where it's ready to post. So don't be afraid to continuously give feedback and improve the content that the AI is suggesting to you. I am also trying to check the chat here to see. Okay, so people are saying that they are having trouble logging into ChatGPT. It might be at full capacity. We have noticed that tends to happen every now and again, and that is because it's something new. So that's why I've also prepared some extra examples for you to see here. And well, you get a chance to play with it later and show us. And if you do create content based on these prompts, make sure you also tag SocialBee in those content pieces when you publish them so that we see exactly what you've created. Okay, let's move forward with this. We have a few things that you can do in your content mix. And if you've been to one of my previous webinars, you might have heard me talk about the content mix and how it will create a better balance for your audience, and it will prevent your audience from getting bored with your content and ignoring it. So really, you can use the content mix and the individual types of content to create prompts with AI for them. And that way, make sure that you avoid any creative blocks. in any specific area that you might not be as good as. For me, I'm not good at entertaining content. So that would be one area where I would absolutely use the AI. So let's take each of them individually and see exactly how you can create a promotional post and either an entertaining post or any type of content, really. So I have a few prompts to suggest for each type of content, as well as an example on how you can do so. For instance, here's an example of how you can customize and enhance your prompt for a promotional post. We've started with a short command, make a social media post listing for listing the benefits of X product for this customer type. And we've added more details about the expertise required to develop this content, being the copywriter, and the tone of voice being friendly, playful, and so on. We've also included a demand to start with an engaging statement. And this is what we got. This is pretty spot on, if I might add. And I, for one, have been continuously impressed by the capabilities that this system provides. Moving over to evergreen content, here are a few prompts that you can do. If you don't know what evergreen content is, it's content that doesn't have any time sensitivity. It's content that you can reuse again and again and doesn't expire pretty much. So when it comes to content that doesn't expire, this is what we did. We took simple and short commands and notice that this can do the trick when it comes to a simple topic. So we've only offered a few additional details to this particular post. For example, making sure the expertise was right, adding the word barista, and also the topic. So how to make a cup of coffee by using a stovetop espresso machine. And it came up with the perfect post, I might say. And this post will not expire because the stovetop espresso machine is always going to have the exact same steps. So you can always reuse this post maybe a few months later. Let's now talk about entertaining content and how you can write a prompt to create a poem, a funny joke, anything in between, or even a challenge or any other fun idea that you may have for your social media. So what did we do here? We spiced up our social media content by choosing to test ChatGPT's abilities to create an analogy between social media and something else, to kind of explain the importance of using a social media management tool like SocialBee as a small business owner. And the thing it came up with was an analogy where a social media management tool for a small business owner is the equivalent of a perfectly equipped kitchen for a chef. Now, what do you think? Would that be the right analogy? I think it's pretty spot on. And I do think that having the right tools for the trade that you're in makes a world of a difference. Let's also move forward into some interactive content prompts. Now here you can go for asking questions about specific topics, you can create quizzes, you can create a giveaway, you can create announcements for Q&As or webinars or any other type of interaction posts, which is meant to boost your engagement, right? That's the purpose of it in the end. So we decided to create a quiz. Yes, a quiz based on Van Gogh's art. And we came up with this amazing post that gives you 5 questions with the answers to the questions so that you can create your content on social media. And this can even be 5 posts. So you can add either a carousel with these 5 visuals, or you can just create 5 separate posts and have people constantly engage with your content. And in this example, for art lovers, I think this would be a perfect way to engage with your content and to make it more interactive. Next up, we have educational content, and this one is here to boost your authority, to build trust with your audience. So it's here to provide value for your audience. So that way, whenever they need you, they know that you know what you're talking about. So a few prompts that you can create in this area is to just answer questions from your frequently asked questions, to enjoy statistics, share statistics, make a list of pros and cons about a specific subject, compare things like that. So anything that's informative to your audience. We decided to use this prompt and answer a question, for instance, using FAQ questions, frequently asked of questions from customers. And this is a very good example of how you can do that. Motivational content is up next, and this one can get difficult to create because there's only so much experience that you can have that can influence and motivate others. So instead of regurgitating the same experience over and over again, you can write inspirational social media messages by using the prompts that you see here on the screen. And the example that we have here is actually quite simple. We've asked ChatGPT to make a post of how you can overcome failure, and this is what it came up with. So this is a good way for you to diversify your social media content strategy and offer your followers a dose of inspiration. This is really something that you can do with any type of content, not just the ones that I've mentioned. But now that we have all of that content, what are you going to do with it? Well, if you're already a SocialBee user, this might be a no-brainer. If you're not, then this is the right time to become a SocialBee user, because having all those types of content, now in SocialBee, you can go in and create your content categories around them and make sure that all of your content is organized correctly, that you have all of the types of posts needed to create a balanced content mix. You can then take the prompts, create your posts with ChatGPT, with AI, and then bring them into your SocialBee editor and edit them further to make them your own. And third, and most important part, is that you can schedule your content in advance so that you don't have to worry about it for a while at least. So even if you do this process, let's say once a month or once every 3 months, you can just make sure that you have content moving forward for the rest of that time frame. But enough about SocialBee, right? Let's continue with the AI once I drink some water. Okay, so we're moving on to number 2, which is going to tell us exactly how to use the existing content and generate new engaging posts. And we're going to follow these 4 strategies that you see on the screen. Base your content on the interesting industry statistic. This will not only make your post more informative, but it will also give your AI tool a great starting point. So you will provide a statistic and create a post around that. B, refresh your evergreen content by creating variations of the same post. This will allow you to repurpose your content and share it again and again without it becoming repetitive and without leading to audience fatigue, right? C, customize your social media posts for several platforms. This will help you make sure that your communication stays consistent and in line with the audience following you on each individual social platform. And D, use AI to brainstorm visual ideas based on your social media posts. So if you're not great, like I am, at creating visuals, you can ask AI to describe that content to you. And then you can use SocialBee and Canva the Canva integration that SocialBee has to create your visual based on the description that AI gave you, or you can go even further and ask another AI system to generate an image based on that as well. So I have some examples for each one of these strategies, starting with the statistic. It's easy to come across statistics in each industry, and I'm sure you have a few statistics in mind in your relevant industries that you can use as a base for your AI-generated posts. So posts like the one that we've generated here can make a great tweet because it's short, it's very likely to start interesting debates, conversations, so it can catch the attention of your audience very quickly. And when it comes to evergreen content, this is always a best practice that we like to encourage. So here, it will be a lot easier to create variations of that evergreen content to make sure that your content doesn't get repetitive and boring. Because when your content gets repetitive, audiences tend to ignore it. So in this case, we have one post on the left, actually, on the left side of the screen. And we've decided to ask ChatGPT to create 3 more variations that we can put to good use in the future. And it delivered. We've also asked ChatGPT to create variations of each platform's best practices of one post. So we mentioned that you need to take into attention. You need to make sure that the post takes into consideration, that's what I wanted to say, the best practices for each platform, along with the character limit, because it's not the same it's not the same thing writing a post for Twitter as it is writing the same post for Facebook. The character limit is quite different there. And as you can see, it made the right choices. And now my post is short and concise for Twitter. It includes just the right amount of hashtags too, which is a best practice for Twitter, but it also has a lot more information for Facebook as well. Moving on to number D, letter D. Once you're done generating and editing your social media copy, this is one more thing that you have on your plate, and that's to create the visual, right? So we've asked ChatGPT to describe an image that we should use for our social post, and it came up with the right description that we can then use with Canva in SocialBee to create the right visual that we need for this. Whew, it's a lot of information in this, and I'm sure there's a lot more that I'm not even touching upon right now. So I do hope you're taking notes, even through me fumbling my words. Okay, so third thing here is how to effectively communicate with your AI tool. This is right off the bat, it's a surreal experience, but you need to make sure that you have the right communication with your system in order to get the most out of that content. So there's a few things that you need to do. First, make sure that you understand that AI has some advanced capabilities. Don't underestimate AI. I did in the beginning, and I was so surprised by what it can do. It can actually help you a lot when you provide clear and specific instructions on what it needs to do. Treat it like you would treat any other team member, and don't dumb down your input. The second thing is to tweak your commands and improve them as you go along so that you can make your content better and better. AI is a learning machine, and it will learn from interacting with you, and it will perfect the content to your prompts as your prompts get better. So make sure you take that into consideration. And finally, provide constant feedback until you get the results that you want. Make sure that you're always adding and rewriting and adding information as much as needed in order to get the results that you want. And even then, you might also need to edit them with a little bit of a human touch to make them perfect. And then we're moving into fact checking. This is something that I myself have asked. I'm sure a lot of you have asked as well. Generally, content that's generated by AI can be inaccurate and it can contain false information, because this is something that has been trained by using a lot of internet content. And as we all know, not everything that's on the internet turns out to be true. So because of this limited information, some things that the systems can give you might be wrong. So it's important to fact check the accuracy, to make sure that you verify the sources and the information that you get before putting it out, as it might have something to do with your reputation in case something comes up wrong. And then we're going to work into the editing process of the generated content. So you've created your content, and now it's time to take it from the suggestions that AI has made and make it your own. And you can do this by just editing the content. And this will ensure, first of all, that your social media guidelines are respected, your tone of voice, your personality shines through the writing instead of just a generic AI post. It will also help you use your knowledge and expertise to add even more value to the content that you've already created. And you can just do so by adding your personal thoughts or relevant insights that you know might be an added value to what the content is already about. If you want to make the content even more credible, you can add or reference studies, statistics that you know about, or even add your own case studies, which will also generate a little more authority on your end as well. And finally, don't forget to include links, to include call to actions in your post. ChatGPT is not very good at including links at the moment, so you will have to do that manually as well. And this will help you drive traffic to your website, increase conversions, and everything in between. So we've gone through quite a few things, and I want to leave you with a few final thoughts before I go into the Q&A session here. So this is what AI is about. AI writing tools can enhance and assist you at every step of the creation process. But at the same time, human input and creativity are needed to generate authentic, relevant, and correct content. And keep in mind that the structure of your AI prompts will directly influence the quality of your generated content. With that in mind, because I know this question is coming, yes, SocialBee will be also including AI content soon. I will not be able to tell you when, but it will be soon. And if you're not yet a customer of SocialBee, you can take advantage of this offer and just get 20% off of any SocialBee plan by using the code webinar20. Now, if you're watching this as a recording after the webinar is done and you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, either myself personally at anca@socialbee.io or SocialBee's team at hello@socialbee.io. And with that, I will start going into the question. So if you haven't added your questions yet, go ahead and do that. I'll also pop the chat here so that I can see exactly what's going on. And let's start with the first question. The first question is not a question, actually. It just says awesome. So I'm going to dismiss that. And the actual first question that I have here, is there a way to see what she's showing us and not the speaker? Okay, so that would be me. I hope you found a way to do that. If not, I'm really sorry. I didn't see this question in time, I guess. What is AIDA, pass, or SOAP? This is a very good question. So AIDA, pass, or SOAP, these are all formulas that can help you generate content. And honestly, if you're going to ask me right now what AIDA stands for, I would not be able to tell you. But it is a formula that will, I think it's about grabbing the attention of your audience, grabbing the interest, talking about the desire and something like that. If you want to, you can Google this, or you can send me an email and we can talk more about it. But right now I'm blanking out on what the actual words are for the formulas. Pretty much what it is that it's a way for you to create consistent content and content that generates whatever results you need to generate. So whether it's traffic, clicks, things like that. The next question, do you have a prompt library that works well for you that you can share? That's a good question. I don't have a prompt library yet. Yet being a keyword. Andrea, I think that's a really good idea for our blog, don't you think? We might have one in the future. In the meantime, you can actually use the prompts that we've added here in the slides so that you can start getting used to ChatGPT and working with it. And then you can move forward to more advanced prompts. Next question that I have here is, do you know how to get to a place where you can pay for ChatGPT and avoid the lockouts? Oof, okay, so I am not an expert in ChatGPT yet, which means I am not able to answer this question, unfortunately. I'm sure that there's something on OpenAI's website that can guide you in the right direction. What AI programs do you recommend? Well, ChatGPT is a good place to start. And then I believe Jasper is also a good alternative. And there are some others out there that I may not be familiar with yet. I think I am just starting the AI journey just as anyone else is, and I'm excited to find even more tools that can help. For now, all I'm using is Jasper and OpenAI, so ChatGPT. Oh, no, and there's also Midjourney, which is more about imagery. So that's also one that you can use. Okay, let's see. A YouTube video I watched about ChatGPT suggested that a future release would incorporate a watermark that would identify it as generated content. Not sure how they will implement that, but assuming they do, what is your solution? The same YouTube suggested using Surfer to rewrite the copy. My thoughts on this is that you can use the AI to generate the idea behind the post. And I think that you still need to edit your content a little bit to make it personal. At this very moment, Google and search engines are still wary of AI generated content. So my suggestion would be to not take it as it is, but also edit it a little more and make it a little more your own. I'm not sure about any watermark. I haven't heard that yet, so I don't know, it might be a possibility. But regardless of that, I do suggest that you add that little tiny human touch to your content that you generate in your content. Tila also adds that it's more that people have already developed programs to identify copies created by AI. Google has said that they don't care if it's AI generated so long as it's accurate. Well, that's a good input. I didn't know that actually. Okay, so next question here is, are you able to share your slides? Yes, we will be able to do so. You can email us and we'll share it. Let's see, the next question here is, can you use ChatGPT to create social media posts based off of blog posts. For example, I run a social media for a window company. Can I use blog posts from their website and have AI turn them into social media posts? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. This is something that you can do, and you can create one or multiple posts from the same blog post and have a way for you to promote the blog post on social media. So yes, this is actually a very good idea. Next question is, does Google penalize you for using AI in a Google post? Well, we've addressed this previously. I know that some search engines do identify AI written content. Tila also added a very good point that Google said that it doesn't care as long as it's that it's correct content. So you can take both into consideration, but also, as I said previously, it's a good practice still to edit your content and make it, give it that human touch. Okay, next question here. Frameworks. Do you have a list of different types of frameworks for various content AI can create? Emails, socials, blog, newsletters. And then there's an added comment from Mags that says, I've started to be more specific with my prompts, as if it's for Twitter, AI will know to generate the right amount of characters as per the guidelines. So yes, this is a good tip. And it's also something that I've mentioned in my presentation, the fact that you need to be as specific as possible. I don't have a list of types of frameworks that you can use, but it is pretty much something that you can use with anything. So I've used it for social media strategy, but I've also used it in my personal life to create a meal plan for a week, for instance. That's also something that you can do. When it comes to the content, you need to be as specific as possible and let the AI know exactly what you want that content to be about and what that content will be shared on. Final question that I have here is, can AI write in your personality if you tell it what personality you have based on existing personality paradigms? Actually, funny story. The intro to this webinar was written by the AI. I did not write that. And it was actually in a complete shock to me how accurate that was to what I normally do when I use my own writing and I intro the webinars. So yes, I think the AI can write into your personality when you're adding the right prompts. That's kind of the asterisk here. You need to add the right prompts. Tila also adds here that I know that it does write in specific known writing styles of famous authors. So I imagine if you describe it well enough, probably. Well, yeah, I think it does. I think it does. Okay, I only have one question left here. So let's see. My question about frameworks meant AIDA pass. Oh, okay. I can get you a list of that. I don't have it on, but please email us and we can talk about it further there. I think that would be great. I have no questions left here. So with that, I'm going to look at the chat to make sure everything works here. I do see some prompts to test the ability of ChatGPT. Let's see. So we have some prompts in the chat here as well. I'm working with an electronic music nightclub. They want to attract young audiences who don't go clubbing often. Please list the nightclub related needs these audience have. For each need, suggest 2 ways I could position the club and market it to the audience. That's very informative. And I can see that there's also a link to it. So that is incredible. I'm going to stop here. I think there's quite a bit of information in here and we need some time to digest everything. So if you're going to use ChatGPT and create social posts, make sure you also tag us and let us know what it came up with. If you have any follow-up questions, you can always reach out either to the entire team at hello@socialbee.io or to myself personally at Anca@socialbee.io, and we'll be glad to reply. Don't forget to also use the code webinar20 in case you are not yet a customer of SocialBee. And if you want to book a call with us and learn more about SocialBee, you can also do that by booking a call in our calendar, which is socialbee.io/calendar. That's it. Thank you all for joining me tonight. And I do hope you've learned a lot about AI, as I certainly have, creating this webinar. I guess I'll see you guys later in the next webinars. So have a great day, a great evening, depending on where you are in the world, and I'll see you guys next time.